right. Where are we, you ask? We're in the foothills of the Sierras. We are on the Western States course for the first time ever. Although maybe I've been on it around Tahoe, I'm not sure. Western States Trail. We are at Michigan Bluff. We are gonna do the segment. Oh wow, here's a map right here. We are going from Michigan Bluff. Last chance is about 11 miles that way. It's hot. It's like 85 degrees or maybe 80 degrees here. We are not going to go all the way to last chance because I won't have enough water to go 22 miles and I'll probably run out of daylight. But we're going to go up to what's called Devil's Thumb. So we're going to drop down a decent amount, like 1,700 feet or something, into El Dorado Creek, about a 1,700 foot drop. And then we're going to climb out like 2,500 up to Devil's Thumb up high. And before we do the next drop, we're going to turn around probably about 7.5 miles in. So we'll get 14 or 15 miles in. Western States course. This was cool driving out here through Forest Hill and all that. So this is, by the way, at mile 55.7, I think, of the Western States course. So we're right smack in the middle of the Western States course. So we're going to take it to, let's say, around mile 48 or so, on top of Devil's Thumb. And then come back. And it's going to be really hot, and I'm probably going to run out of water. So that's why we're not going too far. But we start with like a 100-foot climb. All right, so we just climbed 100 feet or so from the parking lot past some residences, and now we are out there. So you can see the snowy mountains of the Sierras. Unsure if Tahoe's up there or it's over there somewhere, but you can see it's well marked. Western States Trail. According to my map, last chance is 11 miles, not 13, but we have to descend at least 2.5, or maybe that's off. Like I said, fairly steeply, about 1,800 feet down into, I believe, this canyon. So you can see the warning here: narrow, steep trail with switchbacks. Stay alert. So I'm gonna run all this down, but then I'll have a 2,500 foot climb up. You know, probably can't see it, but maybe up on that shelf up there. Also, I meant to say in the beginning of the video, I'm going to title this like my first time on the Western States course, and people are going to think I'm training because I'm doing it this year. I did not get in. I've only applied 2 years, so now I'll have a third entry this year with Black Canyon. The goal is to do this race someday, just to kind of check the bucket list box. But yeah, this is going to be steep. I guess I'm going to have to hike this all the way back up. So this is going to be a combo run the downs and hike the ups, I guess. So maybe like half and half, hike and run. But I can tell you already, I'm not running this up based on the gradient that it is. I mean, I can't even really run it fast down at this point. Well, now it's down very far and we've already crossed a flowing creek. So probably be getting wet on the way back to cool myself, but let's wait right now. So not all descent, you can see a short little up off this creek, but more or less going all down. So we're only down you know, half a mile or something. Still have a long way to descend. All right, and we are crossing El Dorado Creek. So I could climb down, maybe on the way back I will to get wet. And now we have, I think, what is about a 2,500 foot ascent. Pretty nice creek. Pretty deep too. So we're down at the low point of our course. I think we're around 1,700 feet. I'm right around 1,800 feet actually. And now we got to climb up to like over 4,300, eventually 4,400. So yeah, there could be a lot of hiking here. We got to go up to over 2,500 feet now. So should be fun. We can't see where we came from, but it's warm. At least we get a little bit of shade at some points in the trail. But yeah, big climb in front of us. Well, this is a definite hike. I don't want to say all the way because maybe there's some flatter sections, but yeah, we're going up pretty steeply from the creek. This first 300-400 feet, basically no runnable steps, in my opinion, at least for mere mortals like myself. All right, so we've climbed up maybe 700 or 800 feet from the roaring creek down below. Finally, there haven't been many flatter sections on this climb, but here's one. So aside from like 10 or 15 steps, I've basically hiked the whole thing, but still a long way to go. Obviously we can't see where we're going because it's much higher than anything we see, but I'm the only one out here. I'm sure there's some bears, mountain lions, maybe not bears, maybe they're higher up. Gorgeous scenery. Still just been following El Dorado up and continue to follow it up. We just keep bending. I wouldn't say contouring, but we're constantly gaining elevation. A couple of flatter sections, but for the most part, we just keep climbing. So I don't know if Devil's Thumb is, I assume it's on this side, but maybe we hit a saddle at the head of this canyon and cross it to the other side. I haven't really studied the map. All right, so I just looked at the map a couple minutes after my last check-in. We're 4.9 miles in, and we're about 60% up our climb. So we've gone up about 1,500. We got another 1,000 to go. So I guess about what I expected. Over halfway, but not 2/3. So yeah, I'll take it. All right, so we're hitting the sign, entering a high use horse area. That's not the sign I wanted. I think we're getting closer to topping out, and then we'll be flat for, well, not flat, little ups and downs, up all the way to Devil's Thumb. All right. What does this say? Narrow, steep trail with switchbacks. Okay, let me look at the map. I think we're going up, but actually I don't know. All right, so we're going straight through this intersection, but we're still climbing. We're at like 3,800 feet. We got to get up to about 43, so 500 plus still to go. But at some point coming up fairly soon, maybe this next bump, we'll get some flatter and maybe even some short downs. I've emerged out of the steep single track, and it's gonna get easier, folks. Feels a little better up here, a little breeze, but still pretty warm. We have hit Deadwood Cemetery. Pretty eerie. I think we're gonna continue straight. Yeah, this is Deadwood Road, it's called, which makes sense. So we basically follow this a little further up, and then it drops off like several thousand feet from Devil's Thumb down to the next canyon. But we have a breeze up here, which is nice. Should be easier going here. Yeah, so you're not on the Deadwood Road for long. You come up this single track, and we're kind of up high on the ridge now. So I think this is where we get a while of little ups and downs and flats before we eventually top out on the other side of the cliff, which is referred to as Devil's Thumb, I believe. this ridge continues to climb. I thought it would flatten out, but no. And we've had a handful of downed trees to deal with. I assume they'll clean this up before the race, but some of these, you know, will cost you 20-30 seconds or something to get around or over. Yeah, that one wasn't bad. Some of the other ones had to kind of crawl through. So we're still climbing. More water. We're at our last little low point here. I mean, I guess I could just get my feet wet. We have to climb, I don't know, 50 to 100 feet now to our last little high point before we'll look down over the drop into whatever the next canyon is. But we have not far, a quarter mile, maybe a third of a mile to our turnaround point, and the edge of this plateau right here. Just unfortunately have one more little climb here. All right, we've popped out to a road. This might be where the Devil's Thumb aid station is. Either here, let me check the map, but I think we're about to look down. We're at about 7.6, a little over 7.6 miles here. So I think, I don't know if the aid's right here or on the road. I'm guessing it's on that road, but let's just go to this sign. So this would be another major drop and regain across this canyon. Yeah, warning, steep trail, hazardous trail section. Yeah, so yeah, we would be dropping all the way down to this canyon that you can't even see, and then climbing back up that ridge on the other side, I believe. And you can start to see some snow up there. So I'm gonna drink some electrolytes in the shade. This has been about, it's been about 14 to 15 minute miles average, and it should be similar on the way back, even though there's less vert because I'll be more tired. So I'm gonna drink my electrolytes, and it's nice up here in the shade and the pines. All right, we've passed Deadwood Cemetery, past the sign where it said narrow, steep trail, watch out for horses, all that. We've hit kind of our first switchback. So our big canyon that we're descending to is down here. So we probably have 6.5 miles left to the car, probably 4 miles of descent and 2.5 of ascent, roughly. So quite a bit. I'd say 2,000 feet of descent to go. So you're on this one section of trail without any switchbacks for quite a long time. So I believe we're paralleling this ridge, canyons down there. I think that plateau that you see out in the distance is where we have to get up to, but I could be wrong. It could be around the corner. It is around the corner, a different plateau. I just don't know if it's the same plateau that continues. But down there, somewhere in this drainage is where we drop down and cross. Still a long way to go. All right, and our descent is about complete here. It wasn't too bad. It's the main straight section of the trail. Once you hit the switchbacks, it's not very far down from there. So I'm gonna quick go down and get wet here before my big climb, although it will be in the shade, part of it at least. So let's go cool off here and then hammer up. Well, I venture we're about halfway up the climb. We've been in the shade. We're about to get back in the sun, unfortunately. So I was wrong. That plateau that you saw over there is a different one. We're going up somewhere, I think to that one, but Could be wrong again. It could be sight unseen. I don't think it's this one. I think we have more vertigine than that, but I'm not sure. I'm not looking at the map. I'm just hammering up. When I cross that little side creek, I'll wet myself again. There's not that much more to go. We've hit the flowing drainage. That means we don't have that much more to go. But I'm gonna get a little wet here and probably have 400 feet left to climb and not, you know, maybe a half mile. It was a little longer than I thought up out of that last drainage, but probably just moving slowly. We've made it back to the houses. I have a little bit of water left. I'm parched. I'm gonna chug it though. And then got a nice little downhill, which is kind of steep actually, to the car at Michigan Bluff trailhead or aid station. Nice. All right, and a couple minutes later, we are back at the car. So that's about 15.5 miles with 4,500 feet of gain. Time's about 3:45, so that checks out right around 15-minute miles or so. So yeah, that's it. I'm hot, I'm parched, but it was good to see the Western States Trail and still plenty of daylight.